This place with well, it needs a lot of work, but
Yeah.
you know, with work, it could be fixed up pretty nice. I mean.
So right now we are viewing the second level of the house, and this is one of the smaller bedrooms. This is the hallway of the second level. As you can see, there's mold in the ceiling, cracked plaster. There's the bathroom, damage to the door to the bathroom. No toilet, damaged vanity. Oh, there I am. Okay, so it looks like we're going to make our way to the next room. This room is not in that bad of a shape. It's going to require some mold removal, patching up some of the ceiling, or patching the ceiling, some mudding and paint, and redoing the floor. Should do some justice in this room. So this closet will take you to the attic. And there's the attic. And the stair landing down to the first level. And this is the other bedroom. Has ceiling damage. And the final bedroom, ceiling damage as well. And the ceiling damage is the result of holes in the roof. So the water leaked inside the interior of the house and caused a lot of damage. We are now in the basement. As you can see, there is water on the basement floor, which is the result of a leak in the pipes. That's a room that was built out of wood. My name is Patrick, and I am now the owner of a 2-story, 1,300 square feet house on Detroit's west side. Located in the Petosky-Otsego neighborhood of Detroit, the house sits at the intersection of Joy Road and Grand River Avenue, 5.6 miles northwest from downtown Detroit. This house is over 100 years old, built in 1919, right before the Roaring '20s and during the booming auto industry. When the house was built, Detroit was on track to become the 4th largest city in the country, right behind New York City, Chicago, and Philadelphia. In September 2018, I purchased this property from the Wayne County Treasurer's auction of tax foreclosed properties. The purchase price for the house was $11,000. There are a few reasons why I purchased this house. One of the main reasons why I purchased this house is because I wanted to be a part of Detroit's recovery. And by owning this property, it allowed me the opportunity to renovate a house that is currently on a street that has several vacant lots and abandoned homes. So this helps, or I hope that I'm helping the community by renovating this house in Detroit. I want to bring life into the house eventually, and I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with the house once it's complete, but I want to make sure that the house is in good shape for someone to live in. Petosky-Otsego, the neighborhood where my property sits, has not yet experienced Detroit's recovery. But I believe in due time, things will change. It's an investment. I enjoy the renovation process. You get to see the beginning of how the house looks, and then you get to see the after product of the house once it's complete. And you know that you were a part of creating the finished product of that house. So I enjoy that feeling that I get of starting a project and seeing the completion of it. Several years ago, I was able to renovate the house that I'm living in now, and I had a great time doing that. So by purchasing the Detroit house on Martindale Street, I am now able to create some memories, get my hands dirty, and work on renovating a house again. So I'm looking forward to that process. Before viewing the inside of the house and before knowing the house was a drug house, I was willing to work with the homeowner. I was going to charge the person that was living there rent in exchange for the tenant to stay at the property for a year. However, once I toured the house and found out that it was a drug house, I had no choice but to evict the person so that I could bring the house up to code for a living. The eviction process was lengthy, with several visits to the 36th District Court in Detroit. The process took about 4 months to complete, beginning in December 2018 and ending in March 2019. In December 2018, I mailed the tenant with a 30-day notice to vacate the premises. The tenant wasn't willing to leave, and he ended up telling me that I would have to take him to court in order to get him out of the house. So in January 2019, I filed a summons and complaint with the 36th District Court. I also had to hire a court officer to serve the tenant. I had my court case at the end of January. The tenant didn't show up, so the judge ruled a default judgment in my favor. The judgment allowed me to apply for an order of eviction 12 days later. I ended up applying for the order of eviction on February 15th, and on the 19th, the judge issued an order of eviction. And my date for eviction was set for March 27th. On eviction day, the court officer arrived with his team. They removed several items from the house, and what's left over was a lot of garbage. From bags to clothes, paper, utensils, pans, and a lot of straw. Justin and I decided to tackle the basement. The basement had one room and 2 closets, and they all needed to go. The walls were built out of wood, and each wall was rotten and covered in mold, with the exception of one of the closets closest to the basement stairs. This wall didn't have any mold, but I wanted it gone. In June 2019, I had to have a company come out to replace the roof. The existing roof was in bad shape. It caused a lot of damage to the ceilings and to the walls of the house. In order to move forward with the renovation, the roof just had to be replaced. One of the biggest costs so far with the renovation was the roof. I knew it was going to be a lot. The roof came in about close to $5,000 to replace, but it needed it. I actually had a few quotes before getting the roof done, and I selected one company that was on the cheaper side. It took the company a few days to complete the roof project. They had to remove the existing shingles, and they had to replace some of the rotten deck boards. In September, we had to contract out. Our basement drains were clogged, preventing water from moving through the pipes. So I hired Jay, the plumber, to break out the old drains and replace the drains with new ones.
Yep, that's how these drains are. They tie into the storm line on their own thing. That's why they backed up, because the way that they sit. They sit on top of the storm line.
The old drain with debris in it and the new drain. Once Jay replaced the drains, he added cement back to the basement floor. Toward the end of September, Justin and I decided to focus our attention on the yard, specifically a huge dying catalpa tree. This tree is massive. If we didn't remove the tree and one day the tree decided to come down, it could have damaged the newly installed roof and the side of the house. This would have been costly. So I hired a tree removal company to cut down the tree. We agreed to cut the tree down to about 8 feet high. The reason why is because the tree formed a bulge on one side. I thought eventually I could create something from the round swell on the tree. It would have cost extra to have the tree removal company take the logs away from the yard. So in order to save money, I just let them stay in the yard.
We're planning to work for a handle.
So today we just finished prepping the second level walls, and I'm going to give you a tour of the work that we have done. We had to remove several areas where the plaster existed, and a lot of the debris that you see on the floor is plaster from the walls and the ceiling. So I'm making my way into the first bedroom, and you can see we have removed the majority of the plaster from the ceiling. What's left are the lath boards and a ton of debris on the floor. This is the closet. So I am now making my way into the second bedroom, and there was a lot of work in this room. One of the previous tenants that lived in this house added drywall over the plaster. And so Justin and I had to go in and remove the drywall as well as the plaster. There was a lot of damage to the drywall and the plaster because of the roof leaking. So yeah, we had to remove a lot of that. As you can see, we had to also remove some of the plaster from the walls. Alright, and this is the hallway. Some of the plaster has been removed. So the third bedroom luckily did not require any plaster removal. Justin and I had to scrape the walls and the ceiling. We also had to scrape the trim, which includes the ceiling trim and the baseboards, as well as the door trim. There's a lot of scraping done in the closet. So let's make our way into the bathroom. The bathroom did not require any drywall or plaster removal, luckily. I did have to scrape the walls and the ceiling. No water damage to the bathroom. Alright, so I'm making my way back into the hallway. And that is the access to the plumbing in the bathroom. Alright, so this is the last bedroom. A lot of scraping. Mainly the walls. I also had to scrape the closet and remove some dry or plaster from the closet. And this is just a view of the hallway. A lot of debris is littered on the floor. And the stair landing. Today we're scraping walls and ceilings, getting them ready to be spray painted with a primer. Kind of evened out the plaster on the walls. A lot of the lath will be sprayed with primer